listening to Ring Chronicles with Lance Vaughn and Glenn Ritchie.
All right, we are back here on the night of AEW Full Gear. Are you going to be able to stomach this, Glenn?
I might get diarrhea. Bloody diarrhea.
Oh, goddamn. I'm going to have to send my furniture out to get cleaned and everything. Shit.
So, I guess starting off, we got to talk about errors and omissions.
Yeah, we did.
The last episode I thought was one of our better episodes, but
I thought so.
I blundered a lot. First of all, there have been 10-man Survivor Series matches.
Okay.
There have been 20-man, or at least a 20-man Survivor Series match.
I was not aware of that.
Also, War Games has had 10-man, from my understanding.
Okay.
I can't remember anything off the top of my head, but I remember reading something about that. So I butchered all that. I blame it on playing WWE 2K23. Due to the limitations of the game, you can only have 8 men in a ring at a time,
right?
Even during the Royal Rumble.
Right.
So the War Games is 8-man. The Survivor Series matches that you have to create, they're not even in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that shows you how much they care about the old school Survivor Series matches. They're not even in the game. You have to create them.
Right.
But the most you can do there is 8-man.
Yep.
And so I was thinking about matches, and I only remembered 8 men. Although now that I think about it, I do remember more than that. So I completely botched that. So I just had to correct that. There was a couple other things that I messed up, misspoke.
Right.
But I mean, I'm sure people that were listening can tell what I meant. And we don't. Frankly, we ain't got enough listeners to bitch about being wrong or right anyways yet.
Well, except for Tuesday, with one of our TikTok videos managed to get almost 2,000 views. So
yeah,
that was something. I didn't know so many people had feelings about Dave Meltzer.
Well, that's what we're going to talk about today is Dave Meltzer, because I'm like, okay, people have feelings about Dave Meltzer.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about Dave Meltzer.
People love. Should I pull up the comments on this?
Yeah, sure. This is the Lariat of Hate.
Lariat of Hate. Yeah. So. Now, thing is, there wasn't much hate. People are agreeing with us,
or they're arguing rationally.
Yeah,
there was some disagreement that was just difference of opinions.
Yeah,
it wasn't like they were calling me a beast or something. You know.
Yeah. All right, so I'll just go through now. There were about 10 comments on this, which is far more than any other video on any other platform. So
of ours,
yeah. So. All right, so first one here is Dave is an outdated solution to a problem that no longer exists. Is that accurate?
And remind me, this was the video that was on
TikTok,
and it was what was the video about again?
It was about Meltzer. It was
Meltzer.
About
That's right.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just had a brain fart.
Okay. All right. Okay. Another one is because they get watered down by the WWE. In its system, not saying that they aren't still great, but I mean, come on. And I think what he was referring to was some of the wrestlers you mentioned in the video, referring to how Meltzer rates their matches and whatnot.
Is there a watering down effect of matches when they go into the WWE?
I mean, I honestly can't answer that because I don't think I've watched enough of it lately to know.
I mean, maybe there's not 15 Canadian destroyers and 8 V-triggers and 9 Meltzer drivers in a match.
Yeah. I mean, there might be some assumption there because everybody knows that, when most wrestlers go into WWE, a lot of things are scripted for them. A lot of things are written for them.
But not the wrestling matches.
But not the wrestling
matches are still
right.
I mean, they're the same.
That's what I'm saying. I think there's an assumption that carries over to the matches itself. And then the same person followed up and said, "Go watch EO and Kyrie.
Kyrie.
Kyrie. Go watch EO and Kerry match in Japan and tell me that their matches in WWE are the same.
Well, to be fair, honestly, I need to do that.
Okay.
I won't argue with that one because honestly, I've seen Kana's matches, Asuka.
Yeah.
But I have not seen Kairi, and I have not seen EO's matches in Japan.
Okay.
So I can't really argue. I can't argue with him on that one.
Well, maybe we can do that and follow up next week and see what we think.
Yeah.
All right. Another one is for real. AEW just threw the Lucha Brothers in there, and they only turned into one of AEW's most over acts within their first 3 shows.
Yeah, over with 300,000 people that watch.
Right.
That's over. My God. That's what it takes to get over now is to like get 300,000 fans to chant whatever it is. What do they do when Penta does his thing in the air?
El Cerro Miero?
Yeah. That's being over with 300,000 fans that don't even fill up a freaking stadium. My God. I've watched matches like Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant, Ric Flair filling up stadiums.
Yeah.
Dadgum, Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. And that's not over, but 300,000 people on TV and half a stadium is over with the Lucha Brothers. Give me a freaking break.
You feel better?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Next one. Meltzer loves flips and countless reversals.
Yes.
Dave Meltzer has always been a Ric Flair sort of mark his whole life. He is a New Japan mark because that's the sort of style he adores beyond anything.
Okay, Ric Flair kind of mark. I'm not sure what they mean by that, but Ric Flair is like number 12 on the most 5-star matches.
Right.
So he doesn't even like Ric Flair.
I don't know. I don't get it. and that comment even got 3 likes. So. All right, next. Meltzer probably has a vendetta against Vince. That's why he hates WWE.
Yeah. That's very possible.
Yeah. AEW. Oh, here we go. AEW is way better. I don't want to watch everyone wrestle the same exact style. I'd much rather see all different types of wrestling.
The same exact style? Has a guy even watched the World Wrestling Entertainment?
I don't know.
Does he think Brock Lesnar and Edge are going out there doing the same thing when they were wrestling? Or like, does he think AJ Styles and John Cena do the same thing? Do they, does he think that Rey Mysterio and the Great Khali go out there and do the same thing? The Great Khali is going out doing the 619?
To clarify the comment, I think what he was referring to was when you were saying that AEW is a different style, has a different style overall than what WWE presents.
Yeah, but this guy's talking about different styles.
Yeah. I maybe he got confused.
The only thing that I see that AEW does differently is that they allow unrestrained luchador stuff and Japanese V-trigger crap. In their matches, instead of getting them acclimated to wrestling with wrestlers in the company and preserving part of their style while also adapting them to what they're going to be doing with other wrestlers. So it all gels and makes a product instead of it just being just a bunch of random stuff.
Right. Yep. All right, next one. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Meltzer is right. Look at Cody in WWE and Cody in Ring of Honor, AEW, and New Japan.
Oh, my God. Did he see the match with Seth Rollins and Hell in the Cell?
I don't
Actually,
know.
Dave Meltzer, I think, even gave that match a 5-star rating.
Okay. Okay.
And
man.
Cody has put on some great bangers since he's been with the WWE.
Yeah.
And, the match with, I wouldn't say it was a 5-star match, but the match with Roman Reigns was great.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the ending kind of spoiled that match, but it was an awesome match.
All right. And last one. Meltzer is a tool. I don't know why anyone listens to him.
I don't know either.
All right. So that'll do it for the lariat of hate. All right. So yeah, we're on. So as we're recording this, it is Saturday night at 6:17 p.m. So Full Gear starts in about an hour and 43 minutes. Anything about AEW you want to go over before we get into our main topic of Dave Meltzer?
Yeah, we got to talk. Speaking of their better quality of matches, we need to talk about the main event of Dynamite.
Okay.
It was the Paul White,
Mm-hmm.
formerly known as the Big Show, Chris Jericho, wasn't it?
I think so.
Lance, tell me who's on the team. I just remember the bad parts. That's all I remember.
Now, are you talking about Dynamite from Wednesday, or are you talking about
Wednesday.
Collision from last night? Okay.
I didn't watch Collision, Lance. I watched SmackDown like a true person. I'm not one of the 200,000 people that watched Collision last night.
I was one of them. So this was the street fight, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
my God.
So it was Chris Jericho, Omega, Kota Ibushi, and Paul White versus the Don
Chris
Callis
Jericho,
family.
Omega, Ibushi, and Paul White.
Yeah, against the Don Callis family, which is Brian Cage, Powerhouse Hobbs, Kyle Fletcher, and Kanesuke Take a Shit.
Okay. I don't even know who Kyle Fletcher is. I haven't been able to figure out who he is anyway. He's just some guy.
Yeah. You're right now, he's just a guy.
I mean, shoot. When I was 18 and skinny, I could have been Kyle Fletcher. Okay.
Yep.
So Paul White is so bent out of shape during this match that he could only move in two directions.
Yeah.
He could only go straight, and he could only turn to the left. Did you notice that? In a circle.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah. If you watch the match, you can only turn left in a circle. Okay?
Oh, my God.
He can't turn right.
Oh my!
He never turns right in the match. Did you notice that?
I didn't notice that.
Rewatch the match.
Okay. God damn, that's terrible.
Okay. So this guy had no business being in the match. They get him backstage for a pre-recorded segment where Powerhouse Hobbs body slams this guy that can barely move onto the hood of a car. Why? If they just wanted to show how strong Powerhouse Hobbs is, have him pick up a car or something. I mean, shit, whatever. Okay. Kota Ibushi starts riding a bicycle.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You want to compare AEW to the WWE? The WWE had the Undertaker ride a motorcycle. Okay. What does AEW do? They have Kota Ibushi riding a bicycle to the ring, carrying a pipe where he taps gently the opponents in the match, and they fall out like they're dead.
I saw it.
How many stars did that match get? I gotta look this up. How many stars? Listen to this stupid nonsense.
All right, let's hear it.
So, Takeshita, Brian Cage, Kyle Fletcher, and Powerhouse Hobbs versus Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho, Paul White, Kota Ibushi. A match in which Paul White can barely move, and Kota Ibushi taps people with the pipe, riding a bicycle. 4.25 stars. How do you justify that?
I don't know. I don't get that one.
How? AEW does better stuff, and there's been so much. Explain that. Explain that. 4.25.
Well, what you need to do is look at some of his ratings for Raw or SmackDown, and see if he gave a decent match a lower rating.
I'm guaranteeing he has.
Yeah.
I don't even have to look. The match, let's look at Crown Jewel as an example. Sami Zayn versus JD McDonough, 3.25 stars. Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre, 4.5. He did give that one. Rhea Ripley versus, okay, now this was, I would agree with him on this one. Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax versus Zoe Stark versus Raquel Rodriguez versus Shayna Baszler, 3.25. John Cena versus Solo Sikoa, 3.5 stars. Okay, get this. Rey Mysterio versus Logan Paul, 3.5 stars. Io Sky versus Bianca Belair, 3. Cody Rhodes versus Damian Priest, 3.5. Roman Reigns versus LA Knight, 3.5. So, this whole card, only one match was better than a match that had Paul White, who could barely move, getting body slammed in a pre-recorded segment, and Kota Ibushi riding a bicycle, tapping people with the pipe. Mm-hmm. Now, some people say, oh, it's just one person's opinion. It's just one person's opinion. You're taking it too seriously. Well, the freaking Young Bucks named a move after this guy, the Meltzer driver.
Yeah.
This guy's opinion has unfortunately influenced wrestling to the point that wrestlers are more concerned about what Uncle Dave is going to think about their stupid match with the flips and the V triggers and the 15 Canadian destroyers and the 18 Spanish flies and the 99 630 splashes, and they're more worried about that than they're worried about what their boss thinks about the match or what the fans think about the match or whether or not they're drawing a dime. They don't care about that. They're caring about Dave Meltzer and his opinion. And that has influenced and eroded the wrestling business to a point where it's barely recognizable from anything that we've seen before. And it's just a bunch of acrobatics and people jumping and doing flips. They can't do pile drivers anymore, but somehow or another they can do tope con hilos out of the ring and die and break their neck. And wrestlers have been seriously hurt by this nonsense. You know, like Tegan Knox, she's a favorite of mine. She got hurt. She completely destroyed one of her knees. And she goes out there and destroys her other knee in a match with Rhea Ripley. And what happened was she was putting so much emphasis on her other leg because of the injury on the other leg that leg got hurt. And now she's having to tone it down. Meanwhile, you got guys like LA Knight who ignore this stupid nonsense, and they can be in their late 30s, early 40s, still putting on bangers of matches and great matches because they've saved their body. They're not beating up all the hell and back. Okay? You look at Ric Flair's style. He can still get around at his age, and he has no right to be doing as well as he has. In interviews, he talks about having no pain. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I've heard him say that.
No pain.
Yep.
And it's because he wrestled a conservative way of doing things. He didn't do things that other wrestlers did. And he hasn't paid the price of having to do those things. And so, aside from drinking alcohol, he, was pretty healthy. I don't know how in the world he's survived all the alcohol consumption, but he must have some genetics or something that's preserved him for that. But anyway, I'm getting off point here. So once again, this is the kind of nonsense. But we can go on AEW Rampage, Penta versus El Hijo del Vikingo and Commander, 4.5 stars. I didn't see that match. I heard it was great. So maybe I need to watch that. Okay. Young Bucks versus Commander and Penta 4.25. I can swallow that. There was burying the referee in there, but that match was certainly better than that main event. I mean, it was just terrible. So, Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn got 4 stars. I'm surprised, but it should have been higher than that. So let's talk about some more things about the Dave Meltzer rating, okay? So first of all, let's talk about the number of wrestlers with the most 5 or higher star matches. This is according to Wikipedia, okay? Will Ospreay, is that how you say his name?
Yeah.
32 matches.
32 5-star matches.
Yes. Okay, now I want to just give you some broad statistics first. There's been over 200 5-star matches. And of that 200, however many matches it is, I'm not going to find the exact number. I don't care that much. I'll give up on it. I'm not doing math today. Screw it. This is already pissing me off. 32 of those matches were one man, Will Ospreay. Okada got 25. His highest rating was 7, okay? So that makes that match, whatever it was, better than anything that Ricky Steamboat ever did, Ric Flair ever did. It doesn't make any sense. Kenny Omega, 25 matches, highest rating 7. Misawa, 25 matches, highest rating 5. Kobashi, 23, 5 highest, okay? Kawada, I guess that's how you say his name, 21, okay? I can't even say these names. Let me get to a name I can recognize. Ibushi.
Bicycle and Pipe.
Bicycle and Bike, 13 matches, 575 is his highest, okay? Ric Flair, we finally get to Ric Flair at 12.
Yeah.
And it's 12 matches, 6 highest rating, okay? Do you know who's below Ric Flair?
Who's below Ric Flair?
Matt and Nick Jackson tied for 11.
Maybe that's why they named the move after him.
You think? Okay. Ray Phoenix, 11 or 9.
Yeah.
Okay. Bryan Danielson is at 21, ranked 21 with 7 matches. Okay. Pentagon Jr. has 6.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this is one I can agree with. Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler tied for 6. Gunther has 6. Okay, I can understand. Ricky the freaking Dragon Steamboat is at rank 29, which is dead last on Wikipedia, with 5. He is tied with Adam Page, Adam Cole, John Moxley. I apologize if I butchered this name. Akira Hakuto, and Barry Windham. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat is tied with those guys who a century from now, none of them are going to be remembered by any wrestling historian aside from maybe the most obscure wrestling historian you could possibly find that wants to dig up wrestling promotions that average 300,000 viewers.
Yeah.
It makes no sense, okay? Promotions with the most number of 5-star matches. New Japan Pro Wrestling, 88. Ironically, New Japan Wrestling had a dark period where they didn't have any 5-star matches. All Japan Pro Wrestling, 36. All Elite Wrestling, which has only been around for a few years, beats WCW and the WWE with 26 matches. All Japan Women's Pro Wrestling, 19. Then we finally get to the WWE. In the entire history of the largest wrestling promotion in the world, they've only had 18 5-star matches. World Championship Wrestling, which had some of the best matches I've ever seen in my life, 7. Ring of Honor, which hasn't drawn a dime, has 7. Okay, AAA has 6. Okay, well, AAA's been around for a very long time. I can respect that. Jim Crockett Promotions has 5. It wasn't around a long time. I can understand that. Okay, I wasn't a fan, but I don't understand this. TNA Impact has only had 2 5-star matches. How was that grudge match in the cage between Jeff Jarrett and Kurt Angle not a 5-star match? Where they literally hated each other. You know what? You know the story, right?
Yeah. I'm familiar with it. Yeah.
He stole his wife.
Yeah, he stole. Yeah.
Like for real.
Yeah.
ECW has only had one 5-star match. Championship Wrestling from Florida, 1. Okay, list of 5-star or higher matches by nationality. Japan, 104.
Right.
United States, 84. Mexico, 17. As much as he likes to talk about Mexican wrestling, he doesn't give them a whole lot of 5-star matches. Spain has had 1. I know who that is. That's A-Kid. The WWE, from the year 1997 and 2002, had absolutely no 5-star matches. You know, the Attitude Era that you love?
Yeah. No 5-star matches.
From 97 to 2002. Can you think about all those matches that you liked back then that were good?
Yeah.
Dave Meltzer approved of none of them. 2011 to 2002, the WWE had no 5-star matches. And some great matches they had during that time were John Cena versus AJ Styles, Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair in a last woman standing match, and Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, where Seth Rollins cashed in the Money in the Bank and won the title, which was freaking amazing. Okay.
What about all those ladder matches with Edge and Christian and the Hardy Boys, the Dudley Boys? None of those were 5-star matches? God damn. I hate this motherfucker too.
It's going to get worse in a minute. Okay.
How many 5-star matches has he given that were dominated by furniture?
Probably a ton.
But he won't give any of those ladder matches 5-star. Okay, yeah, whatever.
The Bushwhackers are the only people that can claim that they've had both a 5-star match and a negative 5-star match.
Well, that's some range right there.
Rey Mysterio is the youngest to have a 5-star match at the age of 18.
Mm-hmm.
Although I wonder if that's changed because I think A-Kid might be the youngest now. I don't know. Jericho was the oldest when fighting Kenny Omega for a singles match, 5-star match at the age of 47. Okay. All that Meltzer borrowed all this from Weasel Dooley and Jim Cornette. Ironically, since Jim Cornette hates his guts.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're going to talk about wrestlers who've never had a 5-star match. Okay, prepare yourself.
I don't know if I want to hear this.
Kurt Angle.
Okay, well, that's bullshit.
Kurt Angle has never had a 5-star match.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Jake the Snake Roberts.
Fuck off. Are you serious?
Mr. Perfect. Kurt Hennig. So that match between him and Bret Hart for the Intercontinental title was not a 5-star match. A match that I can remember like it happened yesterday. Okay? Edge. Unless he's had one against like Cody Ibushi bicycle match in AEW that I don't know about recently. Bicycle match.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens, also known as Kevin Steen. No 5-star matches. El Generico, also known as Sami Zayn. No 5-star matches. Eddie Guerrero.
That's bullshit.
No 5-star matches. His matches against Rey Mysterio was not a 5-star match or anything he did in WWE.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know who this guy is, but I'm going to skip him. Triple H. No 5-star matches. Dean Malenko. No 5-star matches. Randy Macho Man Savage. His match against Ricky Steamboat at WrestleMania 3 was not a 5-star match. Explain that. But Paul White they can only turn right or left or whatever the heck he could only do. Gets body slammed on a car, and Kota Ibushi with a bicycle with a pipe tapping people with it got 4.25 stars. But Macho Man Randy Savage's entire career fighting Diamond Dallas Page, Hulk Hogan, Rick. I mean, everybody. He never got a 5-star match. Rob Van Dam.
So that match with Jerry Lynn was not
a
5 stars.
5-star match, or any match that he did was not a 5-star match.
That's the thing though. You're bringing up these names, and we can like instantly think of at least one match that should have been 5 stars.
We can instantly think of one match.
Yeah,
easily.
Yeah,
easily.
Yeah.
Jeff Hardy has never had a 5-star match. You know, like the one at WrestleMania 17, or single matches against CM Punk.
Yep.
Never had 5 stars. Randy Orton has never had a 5-star match. Brock Lesnar has never had a 5-star match. This thing that influences all these wrestlers, it's bullshit. There's just no justification for it. And here's the thing. I'm going to get a little controversial here, okay? He wants to rate the matches. I mean, from what I can tell, it's almost purely based on, doing athletic things, that only they can do and stuff like that. Flips.
Well, it's like the guy said in the comments. He likes flips and reversals endlessly.
Yeah, flips and reversals, endlesses, and kicking out 90,000 times.
Yeah.
All-time memorable matches that were decent, okay, that maybe didn't have all this athleticism like flips and stuff, but were decent. Okay, so one particular match is a fan favorite among a lot of fans that didn't have any particular great reversals or flips or 630 splashes of V-triggers or Meltzer drivers or Canadian destroyers or Spanish flies off top rope through 15 tables.
Yep.
And that match was Hulk Hogan versus The Rock at WrestleMania 17. You remember that match?
Yeah, of course I
do, Lance?
Yes.
I mean, you can even remember like the stare off in the beginning of the match.
Yes.
Like all this stuff gets conjured up by me just bringing up this match.
Yeah.
Even the most hateful anti-WWE fan can remember this match unless they are like super like in the mom's basement only watching New Japan Pro Wrestling and AEW. Okay. In my opinion, that is a 5-star match. It had everything in it.
Yep.
It had memorable moments. It had the fans were fully engaged.
Yep.
If you watch that match, everything that Hulk Hogan did, Hollywood Hogan, I should say.
Yeah.
He was Hollywood Hogan at the time.
Yeah.
Everything that Hollywood Hogan did, the fans were 100% behind. Mm-hmm. It was epic. It was on the almost on the level of Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant as far as epicness. Okay. The reason why I say this match was better than Andre the Giant is because, I mean, let's face it, the Hulk Hogan Andre the Giant match was not much athleticism. But granted, this match with The Rock, Hulk Hogan was at the twilight of his career, but he could still put on a match. And The Rock was in his prime, and you had two of the all-time greats fighting each other. And then you had the nostalgia where the Canadian fans in Vancouver, I believe it was, were behind Hogan, and they wanted Hogan to win. And it didn't happen. Mm-hmm. And I remember me and the guy that likes Vince Russo watching the match, and we were in such denial about the ending of the match.
Yeah.
That we refused to
I remember that. That was great. That was fucking great.
We refused to acknowledge the outcome of that match for probably years.
Years, yes. It was years, yes.
That's how hard that loss. We were in a state of denial about the ending of that match, and we didn't accept it.
Yeah.
And that just tells you how great of a match that was, that it had that much of an emotional effect on us.
Yep.
That doesn't get 5 stars. What about the match between Roddy Piper and Bret Hart for the Intercontinental Championship? I don't know. Maybe that could have been a 5-star match. I doubt it.
I don't know.
Kurt Hennig, Kurt Angle, Jeff Hardy. None of those guys had a 5-star match.
Yeah, there were lots of names in there that were very disappointing.
But AEW churns out a 5-star match about every week.
Yeah.
In front of 300,000 people.
Yeah.
So if you write a comment on any of this, you got to explain everything that we just talked about. You got to explain it all. Explain to me how that match on Dynamite the other night got 4.25, but Kurt Angle's never had a 5-star match.
Yeah.
You got to explain that to me.
Yeah.
And you're going to say, oh, it's just his opinion. Well, his opinion sucks.
Yeah.
His opinion sucks. And unfortunately, his opinion has a much greater influence on the industry than everybody else's. And the problem with that opinion is that it's just a terrible opinion. Like what they said is the only thing that I can the only thing that makes me somewhat stomach it a little bit more is that Dave Meltzer has said that his rating system is a recommendation. Okay?
It's a recommendation.
It's a recommendation of matches he thinks you should watch. I will say this.
Okay. Now that makes it sounds like he's hiding behind the rating, like he's
trying to excuse the insanity.
Yeah.
Or how it's just completely just fallen off the rails.
Yeah.
Or insanity.
Or like he's trying to not take responsibility for his bad taste in wrestling.
Yeah, it could be that too.
So he's saying that this means that it's a recommendation of matches you should watch and not the quality of the match.
Well, I guess he thinks it's good quality. That's why he's recommending it.
So it's the same thing then.
Yeah. So maybe he's trying to divert attention.
I think he's trying to divert
over
attention.
to Japan.
Yeah.
And over to AEW. He's trying to divert attention.
Yeah.
And that's why he doesn't give the WWE a lot of 5-star matches because people are already watching the WWE. But then it's not a rating system.
Right.
It's a, hey, let's come look at my friend's system.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Because we know he kisses butt.
Yeah.
I mean, they kiss his butt too. They just go around kissing each other's asses.
That's right.
The Young Bucks and I hate to say it, I like the guy Kenny Omega. All of them, they just go around just kissing each other's asses. I mean, it just I don't get it. It's nonsensical. So tonight, Full Gear, we're going to find out who the mystery person is.
Yeah.
And I hope they didn't just screw it up and give it away by having Ronda Rousey on Ring of Honor. If they did, that's just going to be terrible.
I don't know. Tony Khan's hint was it somebody that AEW fans like,
which probably wouldn't be Ronda Rousey.
Which probably wouldn't be. Well, that doesn't that kind of hint that it's somebody that's already been there.
I don't know.
I don't know who that would be. Though I don't know.
I have a feeling it's going to be disappointing. It's going to be some Japanese guy I've never heard of.
Well, there's two things. So a new signing and then probably the Devil Mask.
Yeah. It could be Sin Cara. What's his name? Mystico.
Yeah. Well, he's already been there though, right?
Yeah, but he ain't been signed.
Yeah. That would suck. That would suck so bad.
Well, how many times has Tony Khan had a special announcement and it sucked?
Well, it kind of always sucks, except for probably the biggest one he's had is when he bought Ring of Honor. It's probably the biggest one.
And that doesn't matter because Ring of Honor ain't drawing a dime.
Right. Right.
But Lance, are you fully convinced of how much insanity the Dave Meltzer star system is right now?
I am convinced that it's bullshit. I did not know any of this shit. I didn't know it was that bad.
Yeah.
I didn't know guys like Kurt Angle and Eddie Guerrero.
Kurt Hennig.
Kurt Hennig never had 5-star matches.
Jeff Hardy.
And I think the biggest surprise to me was no matches in the Attitude Era had 5 stars.
And also the 2011 to 2022 was shocking to me too, because at that time the WWE was slowly, greatly expanding their quality of matches and wrestlers.
Absolutely.
And I've already told you that as soon as a wrestler goes to a WWE, don't matter what they do in the WWE, no more 5-star matches.
Yeah. Yeah, you talked about that last time. He was talking about those 2 wrestlers that he said were the best in the world, and then he doesn't talk about them anymore when they go to the dub.
Right. Or if he does, he spreads gossip like he did about EO.
Right, right.
I've respected what Dave Meltzer's done for journalism in the past, but honestly, like the thing he spread about EO, he's starting to lose his grip. He's starting to become no longer needed.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like some of those comments said. He's not needed anymore. I think those are pretty good takes.
Well, that's it, folks.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start on Full Gear, and
I better get my Pepto.
Yeah. I'm gonna guzzle a bottle of Pepto. Hopefully, Glenn makes it through tonight, and we'll be back next week.
Not dead.
Hopefully Glenn will be not dead
and not dead.
Yeah. All right, so
death by diarrhea.
All right, so until then, we'll let you know what happens later on.